everybody, and welcome back to another live studio segment here at the Airgun Expo 2021. I've said it so many times, Angie, and yet I had a little bit of a what am I doing here?
Delay, yep.
A little bit of a stutter there. Well, it's been a lot of filming today, and we've got a lot more to do. But before we get started, I definitely want to say thank you to all of our sponsors. Of course, we've got Gateway to Airguns, Airguns of Arizona, and all the other great sponsors like Predator International, who's the official pellet supplier of the Airgun Expo. So those guys have been great, and Joe's been here all week, so we've had a lot of fun picking on him. But we've also got a ton of other sponsors, so please look at our website, theairgunexpo.com, and check them out because they've got great airgun products and just a great bunch of companies. You guys can learn more about them on all of their virtual booth pages. And we have one of them right here. This is a rifle from JSAR. You guys know JSAR. I've done some videos with them in the past. Angie, you're new to this platform, aren't you?
Yes, I've seen it a while ago, and it looks pretty sweet, but I really don't know anything about it.
Have you shot it yet?
Nope.
Okay, well, we're going to do that, probably do that some tomorrow, and I think we've got that scheduled either for Thursday or Friday. We're going to do some shooting with this, but I wanted to talk a little bit about why this converted me, because I was, you know me, I'm a traditional rifle guy. I like wood stock. And this is not that. This is the antithesis, really, of a traditional gun. This is a chassis gun. It's railish. It's AR. It's just not RIC.
It's very tactical.
I started shooting it, though, when I was doing the Going Ballistic series. And I got to tell you, I kind of fell in love with it. And, you know, I've been thinking, we were asked a question, if I had to pick one rifle, it might be this one.
Really?
It would be, and I think by the end of this video you're going to understand why that is, because it's the rifle that can literally do everything. I can go ratting with a 177, or I could hunt legal game. I can legally hunt game in Texas with a 35 caliber, all on the same gun.
That's a really good point, because I mean, otherwise you'd have to buy separate guns for all of those things.
Now you do have to buy all the stuff that makes that happen. But the chassis itself is so flexible. The trigger has 7 different adjustments on it. I haven't touched the trigger, and I love it. I do have a different bottle that I was just trying to find it, but I couldn't put my hands on it. It's in a box somewhere. But that bottle has got a different reg on it because they have 2 different regs. They have like a reg that is for 177 to like maybe a lower powered 30. And then they have this bottle, which is like high-powered 25, like really balls out 25 to the 35. I've got the reg turned all the way down, and we were shooting 95 foot-pounds and 30 caliber this morning. That's all the way down. So, I mean, that is as low as I could get it, and it's still pushing almost 100 foot-pounds and 30 caliber. So when we go to 35 and you want to run slugs, you want to run all this other stuff, you can absolutely crush it. This is a really great platform for somebody who wants to do a lot of different things without having to completely tear down everything to make a simple change. And I wanted to actually walk you through the process of changing out a barrel. Because, you know, is that hard to do? No, it'll take maybe 5 minutes for us to swap the barrel, maybe less. So I thought I would walk you through it, but I want to go through the rest of the features before we get there. Okay, one of the reasons, there's a couple reasons this makes so much power. One, we do have a high pressure bottle. It's 4,500 PSI. We have a regulator. This is a Ninja regulator. What's special about that? It's adjustable. And unlike, like, say, the Avenger where you have to drain it to then adjust it, you can adjust this up or down without having to drain the gun.
That's nice.
Okay, so if I wanted to turn this up, I just latch this on, and it's got a ball detent. And we just keep rolling until you hit the next notch. And now I've increased the pressure. You can watch the pressure climb on the gauge as you do it. And now when you go down, you do have to go down, take a couple shots, clear the plenum, and then you'll be able to see your pressure as it's gone down. The other thing that makes so power is the huge plenum. This is all plenum right here. So it has more than enough volume at that pressure to actually get the pellet and shove light pellet, heavy pellet, whatever you need, out the barrel. Additionally, it has a special valve that has a very easy open. So instead of like hitting something really hard. And did I tell you how like a valve works? Did we go through that? So
Yep.
the way a valve typically works is you've got pressure here, you've got a hammer here, you got this thing in the middle. And you've got all this pressure here, you've got to hit it, this little teeny pin with a hammer, which lets air out a hole, and then that hole sends stuff out the barrel. Well, if you've got a ton of pressure pushing on this, it means you have to hit this really hard. If you don't hit this hard enough, then the valve doesn't open. That's called valve lock. Maybe you guys have a PCP that you filled with too much air, and it goes, and then you got to shoot it 100 times before you can actually use it. That's called valve lock. Well, the way we can have a ton of pressure here, have a wide range of regulation, as far as regulated pressure going in here, is the valve needs very little pressure on impact to open. It's so light that we actually, or I'd say JSAR is actually throwing the hammer at the valve. It's not even connected to the spring. Let's see if I can do this. You hear that rattle? Mm-hmm. Okay, that rattle is actually the hammer just floating back here. It's not even connected. So when you fire the gun, it throws the hammer at the valve, smacks the valve, and that's what opens it up. It's so quick and so fast that you get a ton of air out, but it shuts very quickly, so it's efficient with a ton of power with very little impact force. So that does so many different things, okay? Excuse me. So when that hits, and it opens and it throws and does what it's doing, because the the hammer is floating and also very light, you don't get hammer bounce, so you don't waste air, and you don't get reciprocal mass moving in the gun to jiggle it around. The more power you're trying to make with a big, heavy hammer, the more your gun's going to move during the lock time. We've learned about lock time from Larry. Lock time is the time you pull the trigger to the time the pellet leaves the bore. Yeah. Okay, so if you're moving around and a bunch of stuff is going on while that's happening, that really can destroy your accuracy. It means you got to be that much better. Your follow through, your hold, your technique has to be superior to get that really precise accuracy. When you can eliminate all that movement, it makes it easier for you to have better accuracy. So you have all of that that's going on with the gun, and I'd like you to pick that up.
Oh yeah, that's nice. That is nice. It's light.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a beautiful Hawk scope on here. This is the new Hawk Sidewinder. We were shooting this earlier, sighting this in at 100 yards. And I'm like, gosh, this is just great. And normally, excuse me, when I'm shooting a scope like this, say a 24 power scope, I need to run it at about 16. I just find that if I go all the way to 24, it's not as clear as I need it to be. I had this all the way to 24 and thought I was at 16 because I was full. There's the reticle, first focal plane, looking gorgeous, clear. I'm like, well, where am I? I'm like, wow, I am at 24. That's amazing. So very good glass, and that's why I had you put this scope on this gun, because I think this for a long-range shooter is going to be exceptional. Now, are you ready to change a barrel?
Sure. Okay,
so I'm not going to go to the 30 cal because we'll have to change the shroud, or 35, excuse me. The 22, 25, and 30, and probably the 177. I don't have that barrel yet, but I'm going to get it. All use the same shroud. You also have different components if you want to make it as quiet as possible. They have a different air stripper and a different moderator. If you notice, there's obviously a difference in size there. So just for simplicity, as far as I'm concerned, I just run the same, there's a bee in here. I just run the same air stripper and moderator that I would if I'm shooting 35. So they're all threaded the same. They'll all work the same. I just run the one set, just easier for me, okay? The first thing we need to do is go ahead and take this off. We're going to take our scope off too. So I want you to just carefully just unscrew that. And we're also using something very cool. One of our sponsors is Ransom Rest, and they sent us some of these mats. And it was funny, right before the show, I had to do a bunch of repair work and rebuild work for our Marauder customers. And I said, you know what? I got those Ransom Rests. I am going to get on that, and man, are they nice. These things right here, these little mats, keep all your stuff from rolling around the table. They're kind of grippy.
Yeah, it's kind of like a rubber.
It is. It's grippy. It's resistant to oils and lubes and all that stuff, so it won't deteriorate. Just really nice. So
does just this twist off?
Well, what we need to do is take the barrel out. Okay. So we've got 3 screws across the top here, across this rail right here. And I'm going to put this open and then put it on safe. Okay, so you can't put the gun on safe unless it's cocked, so it's sort of like an AR, okay? Now you don't have to take the receiver off. You can if you think you need to. We got a teeny tiny Allen nut we'll have to get out of there. So sometimes if you're putting like the 35 to try and wiggle that back in can be a little fun. So what I do is I drop it in before I put the barrel back on. I'll show you that in a minute, all right? So let's see, this, we'll leave that for right now. We're just going to take these 3 screws off. Okay. All right. There we go.
So how long have you had this gun?
I've probably had this for about a year. I wish I had been shooting it more. Okay, so that's it, all right? Now we need to get the air stripper off, okay? Or I could just go with this one. You know what, let's just do that. We'll set this aside. And I will break my own rule. I'm gonna need this part, and the shroud. You know what, I'm gonna need to take it off. I apologize. We're gonna put that there. I need all this anyway. So hold on to that. Get this guy off. Okay, so there's our 30 cal barrel. Now we need to decide, do we want to do 22 or 25? Which one do we want to shoot?
25.
25. She wants to do 25. Okay, now across the top, you got these little dimples. Okay, so that's going to index you for here. But before we do that, we got to change the pellet pusher, okay? So here's our pellet pusher. I'm going to roll this over, and I'm hopeful it's a tiny little thing. So if you don't see it, I apologize. But here's what you got to do here. Now, when you first get these, they can be a little bit stiff and hard to get in and out of the bolt thingy here. So sometimes that happens, and it's okay. It just takes time to kind of work in. All right, so we'll take, that is what's holding your probe. So that's where
super tiny.
This little mat, it becomes really handy. So we're going to get this to wiggle out. I may have to get a pair of pliers. Oh, no, I got it. Ha, awesome. Okay, now this one I can sort of snag out that way. See?
Yep.
Okay, so this guy's, we did the 25. Going like this. And I'm going to, wish you guys could see this.
Have something written on them?
What's that?
The thing you just
The little
pulled out
probey
that said it
things?
was 25,
No, I don't. They don't. They're just different sized.
and you just know the
They
size.
just know it. Okay, so it sort of snaps into place. You see where it's flush?
Yep.
The thing. So I'm going to open this up, holding it, and now we'll put that little screw back. Okay.
Need to be a little taller.
We've been talking about that, Angie. Oops. I get all smart mouth and then drop my little part. Now, you know, the easy thing to do here is just flip it over.
Cheap.
Cheat! I need a magnet little Allen Ritchie thing. Okay. All right, we're on. Make sure you're good and flush. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that in the map, but there's a little collar right there, and that's what that's grabbing. Okay, that little, not that little Allen key is grabbing that part. So we'll go ahead and secure that. Okay. Okay. And I've got 2 different Allen sets here because that part is actually standard and everything else is metric. So that one little part is standard. Okay, so now we've got the correct pellet pusher in there, okay? We'll go ahead and flip this back up. Thank you. All right. All right, so where's our 22 cal barrel, our 25?
It would be.
Did I already grab it? I think
I think you did.
I already grabbed it. All right, so we'll go ahead and line this up. Just like that. Now what you can do is we'll grab our 25 cal magazine and we'll just make sure that we've got plenty of clearance, okay?
Yep.
Because sometimes if you jam it in there real hard, it may bind, but these look like they're going to be just fine. Okay. All right, so here's our 3 Allen screws. Come here. There it is. Obviously, if you're just doing this to do it, you can do it more quickly than if I try to explain it the whole way through.
I was going to ask if we were being timed.
Yeah, no. But it doesn't, as you can see, it's not a technical process.
No.
This is really 4 screws and a little bit of shroud
Even
control.
I could do it.
Now, if you wanted to change your pellet stripper out, you could, but I'm just going to leave the big one in there and just keep running with the big moderator. All right, so we've got this guy. It's a little buffer. And what we have happening here is this is what squeezes. Okay, get this down. This actually squeezes down. So when you screw it in, this really just puts a lot of tension on the barrel. That helps with harmonics, that helps with stability. If you notice, it's a floating barrel, right? So there's nothing here holding it. So when you get that tension going, it really does then help.
Especially when you put it on the right way.
Yeah, when you put it the right way, it's generally good. These are kind of basically normal fat O-rings, so not a big deal. If you need more, you can get them. So I'm kind of pushing that up in there. It's sort of seated in that, rotate it over, seated in that channel. It does fit tight, and it's supposed to, because you want it to create that harmonic tension. That really, all right, so we got like this, and this goes on here. Okay, that's it. Feel that? Just feel it?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool?
Yep.
Just thread on the moderator. You got it?
Yep.
We'll put our scope back on.
So now we have a 25 cal.
Now we have a 25 cal.
Nice.
And you know, if this is going to push, I mean, this is the wrong reg for this. It's going to push very hard. So this would be a setup if you wanted to run 25 cal slugs or something like that. That's really heavy, like 48 or 50 grain slugs.
Do you have some?
I do. We can maybe leave it like this, play with it later.
Yeah.
Okay. This is why I like this product. Because it's so versatile and it's so easy. This did not take any special tools, any special experience. It really just took a few minutes, 4 screws and twisting the end cap off, and we could change the caliber. That's all you need to do. If I need to adjust the power of the system, I can adjust the regulator. And back here, if I take this off, you can adjust the striker and you can adjust the hammer tension from the back as well. So all of these features can be adjusted without really have to get it. You have to get into the guts of the gun, which to me is awesome. That's why I like the JSAR Raptor. That's why I like a lot of their products that they've got. They've got 3 products right now. If you go to our website, the Airgun Expo, my wife Sue's going to be publishing their content here in the next couple days, and pardon me, you'll be able to see those different models that they have available. But very, very cool stuff. And it's just a neat, lightweight, very powerful, and very fun to shoot air gun. So if this is what you like, give them a look. And I do know in the past we're going to have them up online here in one of our evening roundtables. I do know that availability has been kind of an issue in the past. They're really working hard to resolve that, looking to buy quantity so that they can get caught up on back orders and then maintain a proper flow of inventory. I'm looking forward to that because I would love to carry these in the pro shop. I love them, and it would be great to have them as an option. Easy to work on. I've been in and out of this. It is extremely easy. If you can work on a Marauder and you're not intimidated by that, you will not be intimidated at all by this. It's super easy.
Do you know what the price point is on this?
I mean, in the scheme of things, they're middle high, maybe 1700, and I may be overshooting. It may be less than that. And it all depends on which model. This is like the ultimate high power. So they have a mini, they have a regular, and then they have a high power. So depending on which one you get and what features you have, pricing will vary, and accessories as well. We have a question?
Their website says 16 to 1999.
There we go, 16 to 2000, depending on feature set and what you're getting.
So if you order a new barrel, you get like a new barrel kit?
You know, I'd have to ask them. They were really good to me. I told them I had this project, and they just sent me a bunch of stuff. I would imagine if you buy the barrel, you're going to probably absolutely get the pellet pusher and the magazine. What else you get beyond that, I'm not sure.
Do they make the barrel?
I don't know if they make it themselves. They certainly do the finished machining of the barrel. I know that they probably buy blanks, high quality blanks, and then finish them so that it matches their rifle. So I do know that. Travis used to do a bunch of that work for him. So, but that's pretty much it. I hope that is useful for you guys. I really like this, and I think now I need to go shoot it.
Yeah, I think I need to go shoot it.
I'm going to go shoot it.
He just said I could shoot it, didn't he?
After
He
I
did.
shoot it. Look, Angie. No, I'm going to go let Angie shoot it. She can sight in the scope. How's that?
Okay.
All right.
After I get it sighted in, though, you're going to take it from me? Because maybe I'll never get it sighted in.
That's true. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Remember, we got a ton more content coming. We got several more studios segments yet to film in here today. And then we're going to be doing our daily wrap. And then the next 2 days, weather permitting, and they are looking like they're going to be really good days, we're going to be spending all our time on the range. So while it was kind of a little bit inconvenient to have to shuffle everything around, I think in the end, these next 2 days of just a ton of range time with a bunch of different products is going to be really cool. So
and if you missed any of the videos, you can go to www.theairgunexpo.com and go to the exhibitors page, and we'll have the videos on each page of each exhibitor.
Yeah. And we've got just the raw feeds from our live show. We will be eventually editing those and getting them republished on Gateway to Airguns and also all of Gateway to Airguns social media. So one way or the other, this footage that we're getting over this week is going to be available for the long term. So we're super excited to do this live and share this with you live, but also we're very excited that it's going to be there basically until it's not. I don't know what, I mean, we're not going to take it down. So hope you guys have had a good time. Again, want to say thank you to our sponsors, Gateway to Airguns, Airguns to Arizona, and this segment has been brought to you by JSAR Jefferson State Air Rifles. Thank you guys for watching.
See ya.